So, um, I realized I have these two like historical um Woodstock books that were like discontinued from the library. I used to spend a lot of time at the library. Um, but I was learning about like this one fort that's really far up north in Canada, um, like on the Hudson Bay, that's like really old. And I was like, that's really weird. And then I noticed I had these historical books and I wanted to see, like, because Woodstock has some really crazy buildings, like the courthouse and everything. And it says it's an unknown artist in the 1850s drew this picture of Woodstock. And it looks like it had like a huge wall around it. But I just really badly wanted to show a couple of these weird, right here. Here's the courthouse. This picture, it says the ceremony of the courthouse lawn in 1902. And look at the courthouse. It is absolutely massive. And it has the monkey at the top and the sunflowers and then the bell. It is a crazy building. And like it was, I can't find any pictures of it being built. But here is that huge castle, armories. And look at what I found. It says several members of the regiment pose on the cannon. And then, bottom, right? The new, in quotation marks, the new armory in 1906. Lawn bowling. Lawn bowling in the middle of winter? And this huge cannon, which they do have like big cannons and stuff, but that huge castle thing. So I'm looking for like photos of it being constructed, right? Because it is a really old building, and Woodstock has a lot of really huge houses. And there's the big jail. It's like this huge fort. When's that picture? The jail has been standing since before Confederation. That's like right next to the courthouse and that big armory. Okay, wait. There's this other really awesome building too. No, that's not it. That market, that's one of them. Really cool, huge building. But it's this post office building I wanted to show. It says in the photo, it's like from the late 1800s or something, I think. And it says it's being constructed, but you gotta see this picture. It's crazy. I should have gone through ahead of time and like marked it out. Sorry, guys. Oh, there. I just saw it right here. See this little pathetic scaffolding? It looks like it's being renovated, not constructed. To me, anyway. And it says lower photo, the popular Dundas Street post office as it appeared during construction. Oh, come on, glare. During construction. in 1901. And the Perry Street Post Office, which was closed in 1901, is above it. So here's the Perry Street Post Office that was closed in 1901, and this was opened. And it says constructed, as it appeared during construction. Does that look like it was being constructed right then? Is that really how, like, all of the buildings look like this in Woodstock? Really beautiful, but, and then there's this disaster that happened. It was a train. Yeah, I've filmed this, these old train trusses. Look at this. There was a train accident. Look at those towers. Those blocks are enormous. And what's left of those, they're not very tall like that anymore. They're really small, like they repurposed the blocks or something. But the date is 1889. A bunch of people died in this crash thing. But look how tall that train bridge is in 1889. That's really interesting to me. And those enormous blocks go all the way up. But yeah, and that's the jail, that big huge fort from above. It does not look like that anymore. That was the hospital. But, yeah. This was like the town center a really long time ago. So cool. But then this book I have, it has pictures of the really old houses, and it has some reproductions of articles from the time. Here's one of the old houses with the tower. Like, these houses in Woodstock are enormous, some of them. And this book's called Aristocratic Woodstock. And like this one has this really old, I mean, it's got a drawing of like the mechanism for the doorbell. And it says Aristocratic Woodstock, 1834 to 1850. So those were all houses that existed back then. It's really interesting. Some of the buildings in this area. Here's the last of it that I wanted to show. These buildings are from the 1800s. They turned that big one right there into this insane asylum, and they said it was for like people who had TB. And then this was the last thing I wanted to mention about that. These buildings too, see them? At the very beginning of this Woodstock, it tells the story of the town plot, and it talks about the natives from the area. It was Southern Ontario was home of the neutral Indians, and it was because of this trade they did with the Huron Indians and the Iroquois, because of the flint beds along Lake Erie and Lake Huron. And so I guess they found settlements of this neutral native population near Norwich, which is just outside of here. But I'd like to learn more about these neutral Indians. And what I want to find I want to look up as much as I can photos of those buildings being built. like actual photos of their construction.